And he was like, I don't want to die, you. Like Yoruba people will say, "Tanfeku," you know. Hello everyone, my name is Kola. I have lived in Canada for over 25 years. Welcome back to this side of life. And if you're new here, welcome to the Wise Tribe, and thank you all for joining me today. We all know about stereotypes, right? Things that people generally believe about a certain group of people, how they behave, what they do, and things like that. So today, I thought it would be interesting to talk about some of those stereotypical fears that African people have. Some of the things that we as Africans are scared of, the things that we are afraid of, things that are peculiar to people from Africa. It doesn't mean that every African is afraid of these things and there's no single African person that is not afraid or scared of these things. So let me do that disclaimer. Don't come for me in the comment section, okay? Right. So I thought that we could have a little fun talking about this and why it is that we are actually afraid of these things and maybe what we can do about it. So let's dive right into the video. The first thing that comes to my mind that African people generally are afraid of is insurance, especially life insurance. I don't know why we are so superstitious about some things like insurance. African people think that taking out life insurance means that they are planning for their death, or maybe they are paranoid that somebody is going to do something diabolical because they have life insurance. I think it's just because we are so superstitious, and so we think that if we take out life insurance, then it is going to be a bad omen and something bad is going to happen. On this channel, we talk about wisdom, right? And so the thing is that life insurance is a wise financial decision. And this is something that African people don't like to talk about, is death. But we know that everybody is going to die. There's nobody that was born that will not die. It's going to happen to every last one of us. So it is better and wiser to be prepared, especially for your loved ones that you are going to leave behind when you do pass. So we should rethink our thoughts. We should rethink our thoughts on life insurance. The second thing that African people are afraid of is like the first one, and that is writing a will. Oh my God, African people are so scared, so afraid of writing a will. I was talking to a senior the other day. We were talking about his properties. He has houses there and he has land here. And I was saying, okay, so have you written your will? And he was like, I don't want to die, you. I'm like, no, the fact that you are writing your will doesn't mean that you are preparing to die, right? It is a way to make sure you put your affairs in order so that when you leave the world, when you are gone, you don't leave chaos behind. I was watching the other day one of the very, very rich people in Nigeria, MKO Abiola, and his children are still fighting over inheritance up till this day. This man died, I don't even know, over 30 years ago or more. And his children are still at loggerheads. They're still not talking to each other. They are fighting because I guess maybe he didn't leave a will, or maybe the will he left was not clear enough. And we see this all the time with Africans. They have all the money in the world and yet they do not write a proper will. They do not leave a will behind to determine what happens to all that wealth when they are gone. We spend so much time and energy building up all these earthly possessions that we wouldn't want them to just go to waste or go to people that we don't know or we don't want when we are gone. So writing a will is showing love to yourself and love to the people that you are going to leave behind by explaining exactly how and what you want them to do with whatever it is that you are leaving behind. And we don't have to be old before we write our wills. We don't have to be like 80 years old or 90 years old before we write our will. Even now, do you have any possessions, anything that is in your name? Then you should have a will to lay out what you want to happen to those things if anything happens to you. So that is number 2. Number 3 that African people are scared and afraid of is surgery. Yes, Africans are so scared of surgery. I had my children by cesarean section. And I remember back then, it was almost like there was something wrong with you if you had your babies by cesarean section. People were so scared of you going on the operating table and getting anything done. I guess it boils down to this fear of dying before your time. There's so much fear and so much anxiety and so much superstition about surgery. People will rather do everything else apart from going under the knife. But I just want to say that thank God, because God is the one who gives the doctors the wisdom that they have to be able to do all these different surgeries that they do to rectify things and help to resolve issues in our bodies, right? So I don't see anything wrong with going for surgeries. You have to still pray and put everything in the hands of God anyway, whether you're doing it naturally or through surgery. And I'm not sure why Africans are so scared of surgeries. Maybe it's because of the success rate of surgeries back in the home country. What do you think? Why do you think Africans are so scared of going into the operating room to get a surgery done? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Number 4 thing that Africans are generally afraid of is high-risk sports. Okay, you are not going to find many Africans, like in Canada, for example, doing skiing, bungee jumping, or skydiving, or any of these high-risk sports where you can break a leg or where the parachute can malfunction and the unthinkable can happen. You will not find most African people in those kind of sports. Meanwhile, here in Canada, for Canadians, when people do these sports and then something happens to them, or God forbid they pass away, they will say that they died doing what they loved doing, right? But ours is like, oh, like Yoruba people will say, "Tanfeku," you know. Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. So we would rather give those sports a distance and watch people do them than participate in it ourselves. That is another thing that Africans are afraid of. And if you're getting any value from this video, this is the time for you to hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps to grow the channel and get the message out to more people. Thank you very much. Okay, number 5 is that Africans are scared, afraid of going into debt. Yes. Back in the home country, I know now things are changing, but historically, Africans are not used to the kind of credit-dependent life that we have in North America, for example. If you wanted a house, you saved your money and built the house. There was nothing like mortgage or anything like that. Because of that, Africans feel like going into debt is a very bad thing. So when Africans migrate to the West, like in Canada, for example, US, UK, Australia, or Europe, people are really skeptical about credit cards and mortgages, and it is a big shift for Africans to adapt into that credit lifestyle because we are just not used to it. In case you didn't know, that's another thing that Africans are afraid of. Number 6 is the cold weather. Yes, Africans are scared and afraid of the cold weather. When you talk to some people, they are like, never, I can never live in Canada. It is too cold. My response to them is, okay, what about us that are living here now? Are we not human beings? Anyway, yeah, Africans are scared of the cold weather. That one I can understand because we are from the sunshine, right? In Africa, for example, where I'm from in Nigeria, I don't think it ever gets below 25 degrees Celsius. It's always warm, and so we are not used to the cold weather. And then finally, to round it up to 7, I just wanted to add that Africans generally are afraid of the water. Swimming, like going around water or anything like that, it's a no-no. Most Africans. I know that some people, like in Nigeria, some people come from the riverine area and they are used to the water. But I'm just saying, generally, Africans are afraid of water. And I can see that here, if you take a poll of people from Africa and ask them if they can swim, I will tell you that majority of them don't know how to swim and don't even want to try. They don't even want to try. I don't know why. Maybe because our ancestors, like in Africa, we have a lot of beliefs and superstitions and things like that. Like in Nigeria, I know in my tribe, there's the god of the water. There are so many different beliefs around that. And so maybe that's why Africans are majorly scared of the water. Can you think of anything else that's a stereotype of what African people are scared of or afraid of? And why do you think that is? Like, why are they afraid of it? Let us know what you think about that in the comment section below. Maybe by talking about it, we can convince ourselves that we really should not be afraid of those things, right? That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Also, stay tuned to this channel for much more interesting content coming your way. Until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye!